Well, Savaloy, how are you doing, laddle? It's been a while. So, as what it says here from Dan's, it said here that the multipliers of the tires are on the ×3 and the fuel is on ×2. So we don't know how many pit stops there will be in this race. We don't know. The tire rules are as follows: they only have to race on the softs and the mediums. However, if they race on the mediums, they must be used for at least 10 full laps, which I'm guessing which doesn't include the out lap and the in lap, I believe. But that's just what the settings is I can see on my screen right here.
This should be it. There we go. Now we have microphone input. Sorry for that one, boys. All right, now we go. A little bit of a refreshing set of the settings here. New year, new everything. All right, don't worry, we're back here. All right, so as Savoy just covered the settings, I'm going to cover the drivers for today's race. So featuring, representing ARC, I should say, we have ARC Chile and ARC Nugatti, some of the stronger drivers in ARC, but I wouldn't say some of the strongest, but they're up there. Representing IGTSH, we have Adam Wolf, and IGTSH David Red. We did see Adam Wolf in the feeder, and I wouldn't say feeder, but the preliminary race for the Team vs. Team series.
We also saw Nugatti, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and Nugatti did win that race, so he might be a dark horse for this one. Representing SAS, we have Jake Dan Harry and Iron Duck 92. For GTSV, we have Beer Freak and Infinity Gods. Cosmic Esports, we have CSX Smokey, and what was supposed to be CSX Klein is now, I believe it was, let's see if I can get the name right here when it pops up on screen. Is now Wise Guy TM, so it's not CSX Klein, it is Wise Guy TM for Cosmic Esports. Representing GTRT, we have Most Wanted and Dark Captain. And DRE, we have Jean Paulo and Matty Whiten. So instead of now 6 teams in the Team vs. Team series, we have 7. So that means we have a full grid on track. And once again, as just to mention, I'm not sure if you did mention it, but everyone on the grid is using the same Aston Martin V12 GT3 race car. So the playing field is absolutely even for everyone. It comes down to which team is the best and how they're going to do it. As we mentioned, we don't know strategies, and some teams are going to be sandbagging this first round. Some teams are going to try and pick up as many points as they can. So it's definitely going to be interesting for everyone here, and I hope you all enjoy it. But as we've covered all the information now, we're going to jump over to Savoy's track guide.
What a way to kickstart this new decade of racing with some team versus team action. Round 1 comes to you at Fuji, 2.84 miles, 16 corners, and the car they're all racing with is the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Fuji, technical track, some corners that will definitely trick you out. Saving tyres is key around here. Watch out for the third sector, it's all uphill. That's where the Aston Martin seems to struggle. So let's go and take a look at this lap around with me. This is a lap around Fuji International Speedway with me, my Savoy, behind the wheel of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. This is a hot lap of this track. So of course, start finish time we go. This is the first of 2 penalty bounds. It's a very long straightaway, just shy of 1 mile long. Look on the left hand side, brake at the 100-meter board right now, down to first gear Daichi. This Aston has got incredible braking. Now going into turn 2, don't hit the AstroTurf on the exit of turn 1, because you will get the car sideways. Now then turn 3, it's a tricky corner, it will catch you out. Coca-Cola down 1 gear, 4th gear, 95 miles an hour. Again, very easy to shortcut it, you will pick up a penalty. Turns 4 and 5, 100R. The corner gets tighter as it goes along, so you have to ease off the throttle to hit the apex for turn 5. Now brake where the Wackos sign is for turn 6, hairpin, 2nd gear. Let the car swing out, get ready there for turn 7 under the Leon sponsor. Turn 8, this is the second of the 2 penalty bounds. And now into turn 9 here, 300R, sorry. Break at the Dunlop sponsors. Going into turn 10, Dunlop. This is a very tricky combination here. Turns 10, 11. Short shift into second gear to cancel the traction. Then into third gear, but then back down again to second gear. 65 miles an hour for turn 13. This is turn 14. Let the car swing out to the right hand side. Braking hard for turning left for turn 15. Wide entrance in for better apex. And then the last corner, turn 16, Panasonic, is the opposite of turn 15, but it's much tighter. Turn in, late apex, hard on the power, and then onto the start finish line you go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap around Fuji.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back now for that wonderful track guide from Savoy. As qualifying is just starting to get underway here, the drivers doing their outlaps. Currently, Infinity Gods representing GTSV, the first driver will be the first to cross the line. Let's have a look at some of these liveries here for some of the drivers, as we see the GTSV livery there on Infinity Gods' car. Not a bad livery, the green and the yellow representing almost the green, kind of like the Aston Martin. I think it's green, might be black.
I thought it looked black to me.
It could be black. It might just be the way the grass is, the color reflecting the grass in the car. That might be black, but if it is black, then it's the Belgium colors. I gotta make sure I get my flags right this year.
Yeah, you got that one right, so that's a good start.
And then we have GTSV Beer Freak, which is the Infinity God, yes, GTSV. So they're both the GTSV drivers, but a slight mix-up of the colors here. We got the orange, which is a very prominent color when you look at the Dutch drivers.
Yeah.
Then we have the ARC trailer with the ARC livery, which is the typical ARC colors, the black, white, and orange. Very solid looking livery across the board. They'll definitely rep that one. Bugatti, gosh, I had GTSH with their the pinstripe there, the Hungary flag pinstripe, which you normally see on the Italian-inspired race cars, but I quite like it here. You have the fade on the left side of the car where it goes from like the bluish silver to the black. That's actually quite clean looking, I have to admit. I got Jake Dan Harry in the very flashy SAS, the blue and the lime green.
Yeah, I like that one. That is quite nice, that.
Matty Wen, and followed by his teammate Jean-Paul, representing TRE, which is a little more of a simple livery, but still clean as it stands. Silver with the orange highlights, the Dutch flag pinstripe across the car, quite clean, I have to admit. We have Wise Guy featuring Cosmic Esports here. That's a pretty clean livery, if I have to say so myself.
I think all of them have been pretty clean, haven't they?
That they have. A lot of teams have put a lot of work into this, and I have to give them as many props as I can. The last team here, if I'm not mistaken, we have GTRT with their big Tarmax sponsor on the side of the car. The colors are pop. I have to admit, I like that livery as well. It's just a big poppy livery. You're going to see it no matter where they start on the grid. Props to them and how they made that livery.
Just noticing there, I think it was in the front, was that GTRT, something like that. They lost one driver. So I was noticing that across the start finish they had Infinity Gods and then it was that Beer Freak who was sitting first and second, but I think Beer Freak must have made a mistake and it allowed the two ARC drivers to get ahead.
I'm trying to see if I can get him on track here. I think, yeah, he did make a mistake as Bugatti was out of the pit lane. Bugatti was fourth out of the pits, so perhaps a big mistake from Beer Freak missing the braking in the double. Didn't quite catch that. On that first lap, that definitely cost him. It's a 143 on his lap time, and his teammate, see if I can find him here, Infinity Gods on the leaderboard here.
It's not showing the top 10, he's down in 10th.
A 140.4, so 3 seconds down from his teammate, and he only qualified now currently 11th. So definitely a mistake on that lap. But currently, provisional pole sitter for DRE is Matty Whiten with a 137.8. With Dark Captain provisionally second with a 37.9. GTSH David Red, 38 point flat. And then Bugatti, the highest rated ARC driver, currently with a 38.3. We have Wise Guy from Cosmic Esports in fifth with 38.3 as well. If I'm not mistaken, that's 5 teams in the top 5.
5 different teams. That is, yeah. One thing I was just going to mention too was also Dark Campton. He did that feeder race at St. Croix, didn't he? Along with Bugatti and someone else that you said. I forgot who it was. I saw how good Dark Campton was because I think he got involved in the first lap incident and then worked up to somewhere about 6th place. So we know that guy can drive.
Yeah. All of the drivers here, all the teams here are actually going to be fairly competitive. And as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, not every team is going to be fielding their best drivers in this race. So you're going to see a little bit of up and down here and side to side, if you will. Some drivers, like perhaps maybe we see DRE fielding some of the best drivers this race. Well, maybe ARC is going to be holding back a little bit and sandbagging for some of the later rounds. So it's definitely going to be interesting. There's going to be some big gaps in the field at times, but it's definitely going to be interesting. We hope all the viewers are going to enjoy this race. It's currently Wise Guy Purple in the first second. Yeah,
just about to say that DRE 1-2, so I think they're brand new to the championship and they're making a huge statement already. They're first and second company.
That they are, but they also have Wise Guy and now Chili behind them. That long straight of Fuji, we know how long the slipstream is here in Gran Turismo. That slipstream on that front straight is going to be pretty big. It looks like maybe they'll win their team orders there or drop in the cards as Wise Guy still currently purple watching the draft of these 2 DRE drivers that look like one will back off and fall in the back of this queue.
Getting away there was Matty there because you see that Wise Guy's just a little bit in the purple going into Dunlop. Now they're going into, is that next corner, isn't it? Yeah, turn 15.
That is correct, it is next. So let's see if Wise Guy can stay on this purple lap here as he's in the draft. I believe it's Maddie in front of him, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Jean Paul.
Yeah, no, Jean Paul.
So he's in the draft. He's within that 1.5 second space here. So let's see if we can get this to work.
Might be Paul.
Jean Paul. You see Jean Paul definitely trying to break the slipstream, but he does improve.
He doesn't improve.
That's going to put him 6th place currently. So, good improvement from him, but still, we still see Jean Paul and Maddie White, in 1st and 2nd place respectively, both under the 37s. Now, for context, I'm not quite sure how that stacks up with what we saw in, I believe it was season 2 when we raced here at Fuji in our GR3 series.
Oh, I remember that race so well, yes.
Now, we did have some drivers, specifically our Adans in that race, did race the Aston Martin here at Fuji. Now, I'm not sure how the 37s compare to his lap times around here. That's quite a while back, and I didn't quite do my research, and I'll admit that's on me, but I believe the 37s are a fairly competitive lap time.
I would, you think so, but I mean, don't forget, they're still on like 75% tank of fuel, so as qualifying goes on, they should be like somewhat faster. We could possibly maybe see like an early 37 or maybe going to the late 36s.
That's definitely true, especially as the gas tank starts to empty itself out and you set of softs on the car like we see in the cars now. But definitely one thing to watch out for in this qualifying session. I believe it's only 15 minutes long. We're at the 8-minute-and-a-half mark here. In 3rd place, though, we have one of the GTRT drivers, Dark Captain, currently sitting in 3rd place. In 4th, we have the IG.
His teammates down in 5th.
Well, no, it's actually IG. No, Bugatti actually goes provisionally pole with the slipstream of Chile in front of him. So a bit of teamwork from the 2 ARC drivers there as they cross the line. You see both.
Now you can see the lap times are getting faster now. That's what we said with the gas tanks being, slowly down and putting on a fresh set of softs. So yeah, I think Bugatti won't take the pole position. Yeah, I think there's definitely another half a second. Well, between 3 to half a second in there somewhere.
Ooh, it looks like GTRT Most Wanted has a bit of an off here.
Oh, he's got front end and front right damage.
Yeah, he does. I wonder if there was contact with another car we didn't quite see as when we were watching, I believe that was, I want to say Dark Captain, or it was one of Maddie White pull out of the pit lane there. So he definitely has damage to the front of that car. I'm not sure it was contact with another vehicle or if he just made contact with the wall, but that's not going to help him. But he's currently 4th, so only roughly 4/10 off the pole position. But the damage has now cleared itself, and he's going to need to make a pit stop here for a set of tires, though. Those are looking fairly worn out.
just about to say he is fast. He's a 1/10 faster than his teammate and all. And he's done one more race than him, so good effort there for Bulls Wanted.
Yep, so currently ARC sits provisionally pole with DRE in 2nd and 3rd place respectively, and then GTRT in 4th and 5th place with IGTSH. Check race. Okay, let me just make sure here. Still trying to get these audio levels just right. Excuse me, everyone.
We were away for like nearly 2 months. We are quite rusty.
Trying to make sure we're not too loud or too quiet here. I do manually adjust these volumes here, so excuse any of the hiccups you might hear. The hiccups you hear around here. You see Dark Captain making a stop for a new set of songs, as we mentioned. Still, GTRT, excuse me, a lot of team that I gotta remember here. Currently sitting 4th and 5th. 5th place, we have IGTSH David Red. Wise Guy, excuse me if I hit the right button here, in 7th place for Cosmics. Chili still in 8th place for Arc. CSX Smokey in 9th for Cosmics. Jake Dan Harry in 10th for SAS. Beer Freak in 11th for GTSV. IGTSH Adam Wolf in 12th. Infinity Gods in 13th for GTSV. And Iron Duck 92 in 14th for SAS. Now, actually looking through most of the field, that's a 1.7 currently for what it is. Arc compared to Nugatti's pole position time versus Iron Ducks, who is in last place on the grid, only 1.7 seconds separates 1st and 14th. That's not a large gap.
That's not a big gap at all. No. I mean, obviously, Iron Duck's in a little bit of an issue there because he's got no one in front of him to help him draft, so he can improve positions. So Iron Duck's in a bit of a problem there. Might need to make a pit stop. Maybe ask for Jake Dan Harry if he can catch up or slow down, so he can both get a slipstream, maybe work together. But that's what I've been seeing a lot in this qualifying session. It's like teams working with teammates and that, because you saw who was first out? I forgot who was first out. Infinity Gods and his teammate, they were out together. Then you had the ARC boys working together. You had the GTSV boys working together. I mean, I like that. But one thing I'm also very glad that I'm seeing is with the long straightaway, at least we're not seeing who wants to lead the first, like what we saw in the Italian Grand Prix. So, good stuff there, guys. Well done.
Still as it sits with 12 and a half minutes left on the clock. We currently have Nugatti in the lead, actually in pole position, but he was purple in that first sector. So it's quite possible that we could see Nugatti once again improve his lap time. Still Jean-Paul in second. It looks like he's improving. He's got a personal best time here as he's really close to his teammate, making sure he's getting the absolute most of that slipstream.
Yeah, but it might come as dividends there because he had to go wide through 100R for Matty, so that will hinder Jean-Paul's lap time. I think the distance between Nugatti and Chile was working well there. The gap between you see there, it doesn't really help the guy in second place.
GTRT still 4th and 5th place respectively. Looks like Dark Captain's got a pretty good slipstream on. It looks to be Adam Wolf ahead of him. David Red for IGTSH in 6th place just crossed the line, so he's going to get another lap in here. Wise Guy.
What? There's 90 seconds to go. I've just realised. Sorry then.
Yeah. So we're going to have Wise Guy still in 7th place. Only 1st and 7th. Only half a second separating them. So everyone's really trying to bring it for this race here. Everyone's trying to bring the most that they can. Want to represent. And as we mentioned a lot when we have these, what we used to do for team versus team, where it was just ARC versus X team.
Chili's just gone pole.
That he has. I'm happy you noticed that. And yeah, ARC still currently 1st and 2nd place. As we see a lot of shuffling going on the leaderboards, Dark Captain will go into 3rd place. We'll bop both the DRE drivers off to the side. And Jean-Paul, will he improve? No, he will not. He's going to be 4th. Matty White in 5th. So the 2 DRE drivers still in the top 5. We have Most Wanted down to 6th. Jake Dan Harry up into 7th. David Red back down to 8th. Wise Guy down to 9th, Beer Freak into 10th, CSX Smokey, if I can get him here, in 11th, Adam Wolf in 12th, Infinity Gods JB in 13th, and Iron Duck 92 still rounding out the back of the field, but currently ARC 1 and 2.
And they've only got 20 seconds left to go, so all of the 40 races will get another lap in. It's just a case of who is, going to be a little bit more harder on these tyres, be more aggressive to try and get up the order.
we will have to see, as we're going to get the notification just about now that qualifying is over. The 15 minutes have passed. So we should get the notification here. This should be the final lap for a lot of these drivers. As it looks like, I'm trying to see the Wise Guy actually picking up a bit of a penalty there. So that's going to cause him to abort this lap.
Has to burn it on the start-finish line, which he didn't do, but, you know, I think that's all right. It's only qualifying. It's not a race.
As we get the notification now for qualifying being over, let's see as they cross the line. Chile will improve once again without a draft. So he's going to improve his time even more. Let's see what Dark Captain can do as he crosses the line. He can't improve. Will Jean-Paul improve? Let's see if he is, as all the drivers start to cross the line and see where everyone starts to fall. Looks like Jean-Paul will not improve. No, he will not. He's going to be in fourth still. Matty Whiten still in fifth. Most Wanted in sixth, as we see David Red aborting his lap there as well. Wise Guy also pulling off to the side in ninth place. Beer Freak in 10th. Let's see some of the other drivers who have yet to cross the line. Let's see if I can find the driver here. Excuse me as I scroll through here. It looks like Iron Duck is going to cross the line. Let's see if he can improve. He'll go to the 13th, so he did manage to improve his position. That's going to be good for his team. It looks like qualifying is now over here, so let's have a look at our live timing. We can see in provisionally pole position, we have Arc Chili, followed by his teammate Arc Nugatti. Dark Captain in third place for GTRT, Jean-Paul and Matty Whiten in fourth and fifth place for DRE. GTRT Most Wanted in sixth place for GTRT. Jake Dan Harry in 7th for SAS, IGTSH David Red in 8th, Wise Guy in 9th for Cosmics Esports, GTSV Beer Freak in 10th, CSX Smokey in 11th, IGTSH Adam Wolf in 12th, Iron Duck in 13th, and Infinity Gods JB for GTSV in 14th. And if you look at the times here, the last place time was a 1:39 flat compared to the pole position of a 37.3. That's about
1.6 seconds there. You can see that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good split. This should be a fairly competitive race, especially here at Fuji where the draft is so important. As long as you can maintain within that 1.5 second draft, you still have the chance of winning. So it's definitely going to be interesting this race to see, especially this first TvT, where everyone's going to start to come together. I feel it's going to be interesting. Now I just want to look at the sector times here. We see Arc Chili with his pole position. He had a purple in that last sector, which is interesting to me because when he crossed the line, he didn't have a draft in front of him for the start-finish straight. He made up all of that time on his own in that last sector through Dunlop, through Nest, and Panasonic. So that was him really using that new set of rubber, the new set of tires to try and improve his lap time in that last sector.
Just looking at the lap times, I think also Nugatti had improved too, but it still wasn't good enough to take pole position. But yeah, great shout out though to the DRE drivers because they weren't involved in that feeder race, and they're going to start fourth and fifth. So that's a great showing for those guys there.
That it is. Definitely have to give them a proper shout out because the series was originally supposed to just be 6 teams, and in the end we had another team join up the last second, which was DRE, and here they are really trying to bang out as many good laps as they can, showing that they mean business here for being a late joiner to the championship. So props to them for that. But I guess if we're going to have to get into things here as we're going to wait for the race to start, who is your money on for taking the first win of the team versus team series? Let's give your driver win, and what team do you think is going to take away the most points?
Oh, I'll tell you after the race. I really don't know. They're all in the same cars, so I mean it's how you attack the track that's going to pull away. There's going to be a massive snake of cars in the first few laps or so. I can't tell. I mean, looking at those drivers, there's not one bad driver on the grid. You know, qualifying 1.6 seconds between them is not that big, really. But you never know. Stranger things have happened especially watching the DRC races. I just can't call a winner, to be honest with you. I honest to God, hand on heart here, I cannot call a winner.
That's a very good point. As much as I like to say ARC would take the 1-2 because, you know, we're ARC commentators, we've seen Chile.
Well, I'm trying not to be biased. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm also just the point of when you look at Chile's performances when he has started towards the front. In that season 2, we saw a lot of mistakes. In season 3, he corrected a lot of those mistakes. But as we mentioned before, this team versus team, the stakes are a lot higher than it's just your race. You're now representing your team. So you have that added pressure on your back. And I don't think if we've seen Chile perform with that kind of pressure on him. So whether or not he'll crack under the pressure or he'll galvanize himself and steel himself and actually take away the win, we'll have yet to see. We saw Nugatti in an utterly dominant performance in the trial race. But at the same time, you can arguably argue that there's an asterisk next to that win because the man who was on pole position wasn't able to start the race and had to start from the back of the grid. So what he had as a win might not have actually been a real win. So these ARC guys, they have the pace, but they're a bit untested. Whereas Dark Captain, Jean-Paul Amati, they're consistently up there. So it's hard to say whether or not we're gonna get that.
And Jake Dan Hardy too. Jake Dan Hardy's a good driver too. We see him in a few ARC races, and he hasn't disappointed.
That is true, but we're gonna get the race underway here. Gonna come back to the feet here as we're gonna give you the starting grid, as many of you have already seen. But here we go for the first round of the team versus team championships. It's ARC on pole and second position, so 1-2 lockout with Chile and Nugatti in first and second, Dark Captain in third, and Jean-Paul in fourth, Matty White in fifth. Most Wanted in sixth, Jake Dan Harry seventh, IGTSH David Red in eighth, Wise Guy ninth, Beer Freak 10th, Smokey 11th, Adam Wolf 12th, Iron Duck 13th, Infinity Gods 14th. We're going to go on board with Chile for the start of this race here. As all the lights are on and they're out, looks to be a solid start from Chile. Nailed that start. As we see a lot of action going on the board, the back of the field, almost 4 wide it looks like. As we see some of the drivers going up the inside trying to make the move. Dark Captain around the outside of Nugatti. Can he make it work? Dark Captain with a great move around the outside of Nugatti into Daichi, the first corner here at Fuji. As we see Chile starting to build a bit of a gap in front of him. As we're going to cut back to some of the midfield here, we see all the slicing and dicing.
Look at the field of Astons roll there. Look at that.
As they all go single file through Coca-Cola corner and now through 100R. Actually, it looks like one driver didn't get away very well. It's Jake Dan Harry.
It's Jake. Did he get punted?
Let's see if we can find a replay here from the start of the race to see what happened. Yes, he spun on turn 1. I'm not sure if he was contact, but he goes way off the track.
Went off big. He go out on the exit turn 2.
A bit unfortunate for Jake Dan Harry there, as it's now going to be a recovery drive for him, and he's now 10 seconds off the next closest driver. And this is on a track where the draft is super important.
Yeah, so big problem is there for Jake Dan Harry, but there's only 58 minutes left in the race. I mean, there is still plenty of time to catch up. We did see in the feeder race, what I said before, Dark Captain had an off. You know, he was mostly, 12 for that in the back of the field and he went on to finish 6th. So, someone else got a penalty. Who was that? Was that Most Wanted?
It looks like, yes, Most Wanted, going side by side there with Wise Guy.
There was a bit of contact there from Panasonic. Now, this is where Most Wanted has to use his penalty here.
He will have to burn that penalty, that half-a-second penalty.
And he can't go to the left hand of the track because there was a car on the inside of him. Now he does.
Now he burns that penalty. He can get out of the way. Bit of a squirrely situation, but makes the best of it. He's going to fall back to, I believe it was 9th or 10th there. I guess 11th, 12th even. You can just see how close the pack is. As you see so many drivers trying to make moves all the way up the field. We see both the IGTSH drivers in 12th and 11th trying to get in this middle of this battle here. Let's see what Most Wanted can do if he can find a way by them.
Can I interrupt you there? I'm just seeing John Paul now into 2nd place. Where is Dark Captain?
Dark Captain's all the way back into 7th place.
Oh, so has he made a mistake or
see if we can happen to find it. No, he was all the way back into 7th place. He might have just lost positions on the start-finish line around the exit of Panasonic. But he is all the way back there in 7th place now. Could be.
Any info on... I was just going to say, is there any info on who's on mediums or who's on softs?
It looks like the highest placed driver right now on mediums does seem to be Iron Duck in 9th place. So he's going to try and extend this first stint, and it looks to be he's the only driver other than Jake Dan Harry.
Whoa, yellow flag, yellow flag.
Who's that? David Red. David Red has spun.
Oh. It's through Dunlop.
So it's, oh, he just got into the back. He just tapped the front right corner of it. Looked to be most wanted. Let's see if we can get another replay of that. So out of the exit here. And no, he just looks like he went around on his own.
Oh, he just lost it. Got on the power. Got the power. Must have put on the power a bit too early, and round she went.
And it looks like he has left the lobby. That is not what you want to see, especially from this team versus team series. It looks like Jean-Paul is all over the back of Chile for the lead.
Oh.
So it looks like we have a bit of a battle for the lead here going on. Let's see if Jean-Paul can do the best that he can to find his way by. As there's a baller on the track, drivers taking the action not to hit that baller. So just trying to struggle with the grip of those tires, being super careful on the throttle. And the braking now for the hairpin, turn 6 and now turn 7. On the Leon sign, a bit of a slow exit there for Jean-Paul. So a bit of breathing room. Chile here as he enters the technical, sector 3 here at Fuji.
As you can see now, it's ARC 1 and 3, DRE 2 and 4. I'm impressed by Iron Duck actually, because he qualified 13th, and last time we checked he was up in 9th place. And we see Beer Freak making a pass on Wise Guys, I believe it was.
That it was. I believe it was for 5th place. Yep. Seemed to be a solid pass. Great move there from Beer Freak. Definitely on the move through the field compared to where he started. Excuse me, not even with the replay there. Excuse me, pressed the wrong button. That's the button I wanted to press. There we go. So now we see the gap forming from the top 4 drivers down to 5th place. So from 5th to 4th, there was already a 3.3 second gap. See Beer Freak leading this train of cars now.
You can probably just see that gap improve, isn't it? Yeah, you can see up to 3.4, nearly 3.5 it is. But look at Wise Guys, he's making a run. Beer
trying to go around the outside. We saw earlier in the race that we can make the move work, but you see the brakes going. Dark Captain trying to go for a bit of a dive bomb into it.
Oh, he was trying to thread the eye through the needle there. Trying to sort of gap in the middle between those two.
So definitely some close action going on for this 5th place between 3 of the teams here with GTSV, Cosmic Esports, and GTRT. And it looks like we're going to get some more another GTSV driver within the gosh, just in the background of the shop, looking to just waiting in the wings for his moment to strike here.
I tell you what, Infinity Gods has done well too, because he started dead last, didn't he? So that's a solid effort from Infinity God, up to 8th place.
That's very true. You know, as it looked like he might have picked up a penalty. No, that was most wanted. Actually burning his penalty quite early there. Actually, yeah, no, that is a penalty burn zone. That is
a penalty burn. Yeah, he did the right thing now. So that's a second penalty that most wanted's got.
And I'm trying to note here, Iron Duck has fallen all the way back to 11th place, but both the SAS drivers are the only ones starting this race on the medium tire.
Do you think it's a smart strategy to start on like medium tires and then go to softs the rest of the way?
It's a hard one to say. It arguably depends on the track. I'd argue that on this track, Fuji, I feel like starting on the softs is a better strategy, as you're more likely to stay in the loop as you see Iron Duck going very wide at the exit of Panasonic there. It's just the draft. The draft here on Fuji is so important, and when you put on the slower tires, you lose so much time through that last sector that you lose that gap to the car in front of you. And once you lose that gap, it's almost race over. Like we've seen Iron Duck, he's all the way back into now 11th, fighting for 12th place with his teammate Jake Jane Harry behind him in 13th, but that was admittedly after a spin on the first turn. But I don't know if them going with the mediums at the start of this race is going to be the best choice that works out for them. As we're going to cut back to the lead here as Jean-Paul actually takes the lead. It looks like Matty White is starting to get himself into this mix as well. It's DRE versus ARC here for the lead of Jean-Paul. A little bit of lag there.
A bit of lag issues there from Jean-Paul. Actually, he's going to try and go around the outside of, I think that was 300R, wasn't it?
But it is DRE. Looks like Matty White diving up the inside.
Going for a double overtake.
He's trying to make a little bit of contact there. He does get by Nugatti, but he manages to swap back into third. But looks like Nugatti's trying to go around the outside of him to take back that position. Will he be able to take it, or will Matty hold his line? Nugatti's going to the inside for the next corner. Matty had to go a little bit off the track to try and make the pass stick, but he couldn't. A little bit of a tap. But it looks like they maintain position. See if we can get a replay of that pass here. going into the Dunlop corner.
I would have checked on the not going to replay and seen the start-finish line if there'd be any changes there. But that was some good, solid racing between ARC and DRE. A little bit hard racing there, a little bit of a bump on Chile, but it was still clean, fair racing.
Looks like they maintain position across the start finish line as we see him. You see both Wise Guy and Beerfake almost looking maybe go 3 wide here into turn 1. Dark Captain looks to thread the needle. All the way to the outside goes Dark Captain. Will he make it stick? It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Dark Captain turns in. Looks like Wise Guy will take it, but he has to make contact with Beer Freak. But they seem to maintain position. So some real close racing here in the early stages.
I tell you what, I goddamn missed this for the first couple of months. This is amazing racing already.
That it is back at the front. It's still Jean-Paul leading ahead of Chile, ahead of Matty, ahead of Nugatti. Back into 5th place, we have Wise Guy representing Cosmics in 5th, GTSV Beer Freak in 6th, and Dark Captain for GTRT in 7th, and Infinity Gods, the other GTSV driver, in 8th, GTRT Most Wanted in 9th, Adam Wolf for IGTSH in 10th, CSX Smokey in 11th, Iron Duck in 12th, Jake Dan Harry in 13th, with the other only driver for David Red and IGTSH with the retirement. So much.
Jake Dan Harry. Oh, sorry, I was going to say Jake Dan Harry's actually caught up quite well. It's now, I think the last time we saw Jake, it was about 11 seconds. It's now down to 6 seconds between himself and his teammate Iron Duck. So I mean, we obviously know what Jake Dan Harry can do. They're almost 3 wide off the corner for the lead.
That they are, but here they're in the train now across this very wide start-finish train. We see the draft from Chile. He's going to pull the outside. We're going to see the draft from Matty. He's probably going to pull the inside. We're probably going to see 3 wide here. It's going to give him the inside. It is 3 wide across the start-finish line. And there goes Matty. Matty from 3rd to 1st.
Oh, and there was contact.
A little bit of contact, but he maintained it's still clean. And it's DRE 1-2, but no, Jean-Paul will fall back to 3rd place.
And they're going to go side by side through Coca-Cola. I don't think that's a good opportunity. Oh, Chile looked like he shortcutted that. That could be quite tough if he picked up a penalty there because they were side by side going through Coca-Cola. But Chile still holds on to 2nd place, and Jean-Paul was one of the losers out of that, and Matty was the big winner.
That he was, so it's still DRE, ARC, DRE, ARC, but both the DRE drivers have swapped places. Looking back in 5th place, it's still Wise Guy in 5th ahead of Beer Freak, but actually Infinity Gods has managed to work his way ahead of Most Wanted and Adam Wolf. What has happened here? We're missing a drive. Dark Captain's all the way back in 10th place, so something has happened in turn 1 as we were looking at the leaders, and has caused Dark Captain all the way to fall back to 10th place. Let's see if we can find what happened here with the replay, but it's a little bit too late to see if we can find it.
It's hard to look at when you've only got one screen to look at.
But then we see Dark Captain now in the 10th place. Back at the front here, we still see Matty ahead of Chile, ahead of Jean-Paul, ahead of Nugatti. So it's still DRE versus Arc here, but once again, they're on the long start finish straight. Matty pulls to the inside, trying to break the toe. And he goes back to the outside. He's doing all he can to try and break the slipstream from the drivers behind. This Aston Martin loves its straight line speed as we see Chile just closing right up, and won't know if he'll be close enough. No, he looks like he almost backed out of it, decided not to go for it. Going to wait for the next lap as Jean-Paul late on the brakes, looks to dive up the inside. Chile leaves him room, he sees it coming, but nope, Chile will still hold on to that 2nd place.
Now, I'm wondering if Chile's trying to be smart here and try and save fuel. Is what Nugatti is. You see, Nugatti, he hasn't been really battling there. He's just been sticking right behind him. He's basically got the best seat in the house. But yeah, these top 4 there are giving us a show as Chile's got a penalty.
A 2-second penalty for Chile.
A 2-second penalty. That will hurt him. That will definitely hurt him there. I'm wondering if it's a shortcut.
How it happened. It is a shortcut. It is a shortcut. He turned in too early.
It's like I said there on my hot lap video, very easy to shortcut that corner, and Chile did that. So he's fallen all the way down to 4th place. He's going to have to drive for his life here to catch up these top 3 ahead of him.
Now, one thing you do want to note, just because you did mention the fuel savings, it does look like both the DRE drivers have used more fuel, or just slightly more fuel than both the ARC drivers. But looking for the rest of the field, Wise Guy seems to be on par with the leader. Most Wanted with a fairly okay fuel saving, it seems, but it does seem like Arc does seem to be the best off in terms of fuel savings currently.
But again, we just don't know how many laps they're going to do. Are they going to do 2? They're going to do 3? They're going to do 4? They haven't told us. So, you know, winners. I don't know. I don't know how many pit stops they're going to do.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing we do know is this battle at the front of the field is definitely exciting, and it looks like both the DRE drivers look to trade places yet again.
I don't know if that's a good idea there. I think they should be working together and not try and battle there.
I'd have to agree with you. Like, we see Chile not that far back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if they're going to keep battling, Chile's going to catch up. There's going to be a 4-way battle for the lead. But what the DRE boys are doing is not smart racing. They're still battling, and it's going to allow the other cars to catch up. They should be working together, try and pull away from the Gatti.
I 100% agree with you. Like, we can see a bit of that teamwork happen in our GR3 championship season, but in here it's team versus team. You're representing your entire team on track. You don't need to be battling your teammate. You're already in 1-2. You already have the maximum amount of points you can get, regardless of who finishes where.
Play safe. I mean, they're on course for the perfect points so far. I think it's the F1 points, isn't it? 25 for the win and what have you. So, I mean, they're sitting top. You know, they'll be sitting top there. If one of them two can make a mistake, if Matty gets into the back of John Paul, that will send them down the pecking order when the race points, you know, and in the race too.
But one can argue.
And look, you can see Chile is catching.
Ooh, and Matty looks up the inside of his teammate.
Oh!
Ooh. It's still looking very racy, but the more they race, the more, as we mentioned, Chile will start to catch up. It looks like Nugai's going to go into the pit lane for an early stop here. That he is. Chile's going to go with him, so we start to see their strength.
So undercut. Guessing the undercut for Nugatti for Chile.
So they're roughly on the same amount of fuel, 55, 66%. You just have tires, no fuel to go out. They're going to try and get that undercut. They're going to come out. It looks to be 5th, 6th place, as we see Wise Guy now inheriting 3rd place, still trying to hold off Beer Freak in 4th, as now Most Wanted and now both the ARC drivers are behind them. So this is now a 6-car battle on track, if I'm not wrong. No, it is only 5-car. I cannot.
It's 5. Yeah, I think that could be a bit of a mistake there for ARC because they're in a battle for what is now 3rd place. So they're going to lose a bit of time with these 3 guys that are ahead of them. Of course, they are, you know, Bugatti and Chile are on the fresher tyres. Wise Guy, Beer Freak, and Most Wanted are all on worn soft. So, you know, Bugatti and Chile could be held up by these 3 guys that are ahead of them.
That is very true. Let's see if any moves are going to happen here. The guy doesn't think of it. Most Wanted will go defensive. Regardless of whether or not they're off sequence, this is still a battle for position. You see Bugatti just trying to use his superior grip to get the run off the corner, but Most Wanted having to be careful on his throttle application as to not spin the car. So this is where the new tires in the pack is definitely going to hurt them. He's looking around the outside, but can't seem to find a way by.
You could just see that. You could just see the RC drivers are going to lose seconds hand over fist here. They might not get 1st and 2nd when DRE will come out, have their car drivers coming out of the pit lane. So this is really hurting the RC right here.
But this is when they're going to look to the insides. We see both the DRE drivers make their pit stop. We're going to see GTSV. Yep, they're all going to make their pit stop now, other than GTRT. GTRT is going to be going long here. So let's see if the time worked out for them. Are they going to pit for fuel? They used about 10% more fuel than what both the ARC drivers do. They do come out in front.
Yeah, I think that was because of them 3 cars that were battling ahead with Chile and Bugatti has really hurt them. But now though, Matty, both the DRE drivers are on the medium tyres, whereas still the ARC is still on softs, as Most Wanted is trying to hold on to that 4th place there around Coca-Cola when Bugatti tried to go around on the outside. That would have been a brave pass to make, but again, he's been stuck behind him.
Bugatti needs to find his way by now, and soon Chile needs his help. He's going to dive it up the inside through the hairpin.
Inside of hairpin.
It looks like he gets it done.
Might have got him.
Yeah, he does.
Chile wants right through the exit of hairpin.
So now it's almost what we had just a few laps. Like it looks at Chile and Bugatti's roles are swapped. Chile looks up to the inside, a little bit of a late pass, maybe a little bit of a contact there between the 2 cars. But that's exactly what Bugatti needed to close that gap.
Now, as I just mentioned there, both DRE drivers are on the medium tyres, so they've got to do a minimum of 10 laps on these tyres. So I'm guessing this out lap does not include the 10 lap, I believe. whereas the ARC are still on the soft tyres.
So let's see what happens. Oh, Chili spins! Chili spins!
Oh dear.
Chili makes a mistake, gets a tire on the AstroTurf at the exit of Panasonic, and will go right around. We mentioned the pressure before the broadcast started, and I think it was just a bit too much for him.
It got too much. Got too much to him, yeah. He must have put on the power a bit too early, understeered, and then around she goes.
And it's a heavy shunt. He does pick up front end damage. Falls all the way back to 6th place. And we see a battle behind him starting to form between Infinity Gods, Adam Wolf, Dark Captain, and now Most Wanted after making his pit stop.
Don't know if he's on the medium tyres or what. Is he changed to mediums?
Yes,
or?
he is on the medium. So let's look through the field as some pit stops have happened here. So at the front of the field, we have both the DRE drivers on the mediums. It looks like Nugatti trying to find a way by both of them there. Nugatti's still on the softs, as we mentioned. Looks like Beer Freak's still on the softs, so he pits for another set of softs. Wise Guy on the softs as well. Chili also on the softs. Infinity Gods on the softs. Adam Wolf on the softs. Dark Captain on the mediums, and I'm assuming as well as his teammate. If I can. Yep. So both the GTRT drivers on the mediums. Smokey on the softs, and it looks like Iron Duck and Jake Dinharry are now both on the softs.
So man, it's now a 3-horse battle for the lead now.
That it is, but as we mentioned, both the drivers in front of Nugatti are on the medium tire compared to Nugatti's soft tire.
Now this is going to be a lot more tougher on Nugatti now because Chili's not in this battle. He's going to have to find it extra hard to try and get by these two, because obviously if he tries to make a pass on John, is that John Paul? Is it? Yes, it is. Oh, in fact, well, say that.
Threads
He's
the
going to
needle
go through
down
the middle.
He try to make it work. Can he take the inside? Maybe he goes wide. Really going to be a double pass? Possibly, not quite.
And again, it's what I said like 10 or so minutes ago. Again, poor racing from DRE. They've now allowed a driver in between them when they should have just protected themselves or helped each other to try and get a 1-2. But now Nugatti's gone by. Now he wants to try and find a way by through Matty. So Nugatti's going to find it a little bit more easier trying to get by Matty. Or not unless if Sean Paul will try and help Matty to help that lead.
Another battle that's forming on track right now is a 5-car battle forming for that 7th place, currently led by Adam Wolf as Infinity Gods looks up the inside. Bit of contact there!
Oh!
Let's get an onboard replay and see what happened here as they went through the hairpin. Because it looked like that was a pretty big dive bomb from Infinity Gods up the inside. He's about a car length back. He goes right up the inside. They do touch. He does spin him. So there was contact made to make that pass. So the stewards are definitely going to have to take a look at that one after the race. But he doesn't lose more than one position. But now he's got CSX Smokey all filling up his rearview mirror.
Nugatti's the leader.
That he is. So Nugatti using his soft tires finally to make his way by both the DRE drivers. So hopefully we can see him build that gap now that we expect him to have. So you see him trying to break the slipstream. Across the start-finish line, but now in a straight line. All these cars are even. They're all the same car. It looks like Matty's going to look to the outside. Jean Paul's looking to maybe thread the needle on the outside. And a late break using his superior tire. Can he hold the position that he does? And this is when we should start to see.
He might pass Matty. Or is he going to stick it behind him?
They're still side by side. They're definitely fighting.
Side by side through Coca-Cola. That's not going to help. That's going to allow Nugatti to pull away from them too. Definitely. You can see now he's gone now. They may be nearly out of the draft there. So again, yet another mistake from DRE.
So looking farther back to the field, we see Chili now into 5th place. Starting to on his recovery drive, trying to find his way by Beer Freak in front of him. As we still have that battle going on for 7th place between. Ooh, maybe a bit of a bump there to Adam Wolf, from Adam Wolf to Infinity Gods. Adam Wolf looks to send up the inside this time by. No contact this time, though. All fares. Oh, those are 3 wide on the exit. It looks like Smokey's looking to find a way by here.
Look at Smokey. He's been a bit racy the last couple of laps. We've seen him like in 12, 13, but now he's looking very good.
Again, Adam Wolf maybe running. Infinity Wolf just a little bit wide there.
I tell you what, I think there may be a rivalry between these two here. I think you should keep an eye out on this.
So let's see what happens here as they're going into Dunlop. Adam Wolf goes way up the inside. He breaks way late. A little bit of contact there. He goes way wide, misses the apex, almost forces Infinity Gods onto the grass. So definitely some hard racing between these two going on here as we see Infinity Gods going right up the inside of Most Wanted there. A bit of contact as well onto the GTRT driver. So definitely some hard racing going on this middle of the pack.
Yeah, there's some definite aggressive racing there. The stewards might be looking at that and trying to say to them, look, calm down. You know, it's still very early in the race. We're not even halfway through this race, but they are racing really hard here, and that's all for 7th place.
That it is, as we see both Jean-Paul and Matthews Wood still fighting for that 2nd place, and back behind them, it looks to be almost, I was going to say it was going to be 3 wide for a second there, as Beer Freak now tries to hold off Chili and Wise Guy for that 4th place. So a lot of close battles developing here on track, and once again, there's still that battle for 7th place that's now currently led by Smokey, with Adam Wolf in 8th, Infinity Gods in 9th, Most Wanted in 10th, and Dark Captain in 11th. Back behind them.
It's a good effort there. Sorry, I was going to say that's a great effort there from Smokey. I don't think he qualified that particularly well, but then he is now up in the 7th place there. So he's obviously he's showing some mettle in this race.
We're just going to mention we're going to cover the rest of the field as Dark Captain's 11th, and then Jake Den Harry and Iron Duck both rounding out the back of the grid for SAS in 12th and 13th place, with only one retirement, which was IGTSH David Red. At the front of the field, Nugatti has really opened up its lead now to 2.3 seconds over both the DRE drivers. Wise Guy still in 4th place ahead of Chili and Smokey. Actually, no, something has happened here. Beer Freak has left the room. Perhaps a disconnect? He was battling for that 4th place with Chili and Wise Guy.
Well, I hope it was like a disconnect, though. If there was no any contact was there being made when it was battling with Wise Guy and with Chili, but well, down to 12 people, folks, here, and I mean, I don't like seeing people retiring, but don't know what's going on there, right?
That's just how sometimes racing is, and whether it's an internet connection issue or sometimes the driver gets frustrated, like we saw with David Red. It seemed to be
David.
So it happens sometimes, but retirements happen in racing. It's unfortunate, but it's a part of racing. As now CS6 Smokey is promoted to 6th place due to that, still ahead of Adam Wolf, Infinity Gods in 8th, Care Captain in 9th, with Most Wanted in 10th, and now Jake Den Harry and Iron Duck in 11th and 12th place, respectively. Nugatti still in the lead with 3.2 seconds, 34 minutes left in the race. Looks like some of the closest battles on track is this battle for 6th place between Smokey and Adam Wolf. But once again, only 34 minutes left in the race, and only now have things kind of settled down. Especially for that battle was what's going on there. Smokey and who was that? Adam Wolf have seemingly pulled away from Infinity Gods and Dark Captain. There's now a battle for 8th place between Infinity Gods and Dark Captain. If I'm not mistaken, both the GTRT drivers of Dark Captain and Most Wanted are on the medium tire. Oh, okay, right. And Infinity Gods ahead of them in 8th place is on the softs. So they're doing a pretty good job to stay in this battle, even though they're on a harder compound tire. Well, for sure, they're definitely out the slipstream with Adam Wolf and Smokey anyways, but here comes the captain, looking to the inside, going into Daichi. Breaks earlier due to his compounded tire. So on the inside, though, Infinity Gods will leave him room. Ooh, Infinity Gods a little squirrely, though, trying to squeeze him. Oh, he's still squeezing him. And he holds on to that 8th place there, so good and fair clean racing there from Infinity Gods, holding on. But Dark Captain, I thought he would there he goes! What a move! Through 100R! He just stuck it up the inside.
Wow!
That was absolutely nowhere.
See how? Oh, he just found a gap and just went for it and just got the pass done. Superb pass from Dark Captain. I was just about to say, I'm surprised he hasn't, sort of catched up to the lead pack, but yeah, that was a stunning pass there on Infinity.
does look like some people in the chat have confirmed that Beer Freak did have a disconnect, which is unfortunate, but at least we know it wasn't some other issue that caused him to disconnect. So it's unfortunate, but that's just how racing is sometimes. Back at the front, it's still...
Well, online racing, at least.
Yes. But it's back at the front. It's still Nugatti leading over Jean-Paul and Matty. Nugatti with 3.4-second lead of both the DRE drivers. It looks like they're still fighting for position, the two. They're still side by side going into turn one.
I mean, I'd tell you what, if I was the manager, I mean, to be fair, I mean, they are still on the medium tyres. I think they may have done about maybe 9, nearly 10 laps worth on those medium tyres. I mean, the gap's nearly up to 5 seconds, but however, they've already done their medium tyres, so they can go soft the rest of the way. Whereas ARC, Nugatti, has still got to do a stint on those medium tyres. So, you know, 4.5 seconds, we're nearly halfway through this race. It doesn't seem that much of a big gap, that.
It doesn't, but when you look at it, the 5-second gap that it is now, with Nugatti on the softs, he's going to have to pit before they do on the mediums, and they can react to him, jump to the soft tires, maybe put a splash of fuel in, and go to the end, arguably. So Nugatti, one could argue, is in the weaker position here.
But with them two still battling, it will allow Nugatti to pull away even more, so the gap would obviously extend more. You saw Wise Guys go through a bit of a moment through Dunlop. Chili trying to go around the outside, going into the next corner, turn 15. And he's going to have the inside now, and he has taken 4th place, so nice, solid pass there from Chili, trying to recover from his incident after Panasonic a few laps ago.
There he is. He's finally worked his way back into 4th place ahead of Wise Guy. And what was Beer Freak at the time, as we see,
he's really struggling.
Nugatti makes his pit stop.
I think Chili will probably have to make a pit stop at all, is he? Or is he going to stay out?
He does go in. He does come in.
He's staying out. Oh, he does come in, okay. So will they stay? Will we go on medium? Yes, they will. So ARC boys will be going onto the medium tyres.
So this is the lap that counts right now for Nugatti. He has to gain as much time as he can on his fresher set of mediums compared to what Matty and Jean-Paul have. He needs to try and close that gap as much as he can, because he knows when they make that pit stop, they're going to jump to the soft tire.
Yeah, so every lap is now critical for Nugatti if he wants to hold on and protect the lead. No matter what, he will come out as the leader when the two DRE drivers pit. But it's a case that obviously the soft tyres are more quicker than the medium tyres, so we'll see how it pans out for them.
So Chili rejoins the track in 7th place, actually losing a bit of time to Wise Guy in the pits, which is a bit interesting.
Yeah, he passed him. He did pass him through nets, didn't he? And he must have lost him in there going through the pit lane.
It must have been a difference in the fuel stop. I'm sure. I saw one of them was 7% less fuel than the other. I wasn't sure who it was at the time, but so I'm pretty sure where the difference came from. So,
yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Just now after the 30-minute mark, currently your leaders are DRE 1 and 2, currently led by Matty White and Jean-Paul. Nugatti in 3rd, CS6 Smokey in 4th, Adam Wolf for IGTSH in 5th, Wise Guy Cosmics in 6th, Chili in 7th, GTRT Most Wanted in 8th, Infinity Gods JB in 9th, Jake Jane Harry in 10th place, trying to work his way up to the back of the field, now passing Dark Captain after a spin on the first lap. And then Iron Duck in 12th place, rounding out the back of the grid currently with 2 retirements. The first being David Red, the second being Infinity Gods. No, Beer Freak, excuse me.
Beer Freak, yeah. That's solid actually for Jake, as we saw Wise Guy. Wise Guy's making another pit stop.
That's actually very interesting. Did he forget to take fuel? Is that why?
I think he must have. I think that's a genuine mistake there. That Wise Guy didn't put fuel in the car.
Yeah, that's just a fuel stop.
Massive mistake there. That's going to free Chili anyways.
That was strictly a fuel stop. He's still in the medium tire, so that start and end lap does count regardless. So that's just he fuels up to 94% fuel. So a mistake from Wise Guy there. A bit of a too fast on the button presses, I think.
And, everyone does that. Even I did that one time when I did an online race. I was fuming.
Oh, I've done it too. I think 3 hours of Spa. I did it there as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference there. You won. I didn't.
Well, as we look into the field now, everyone's a bit off sequence with their pit stops and whatnot. Currently, it looks to be the closest battle on track is actually for the lead between the two teammates, but I don't expect them to battle too much, and I actually expect them to make their pit stop fairly soon. It looked like Maddie's looking very racy there. I was going to say.
But I think they've done their 10-lap stints on those mediums, so it's just a case of when they're going to pit. Because I think they've done more than 10 laps, I believe. It's now what, lap 21? I don't know what lap they made the pit stop.
I don't not quite remember either, but Nugatti is closing that gap. It's now 4 seconds. I mean, in fairness, across the start-finish line, Nugatti doesn't have a drafting partner, so he's going to lose that time on the start regardless. But he's going to gain it up everywhere else on the track. And when you can see, just in the braking zone of turn 1, he gains 2/10. So both the DRE drivers are losing time to Nugatti right now, and staying out on those mediums as long as they are, I don't know if is the right decision.
And also, obviously, Nugatti is definitely catching up with those guys because they're still battling against each other. Also, look at Smokey. Smokey's up to 4th, and Adam Wolf, the only IGTSH driver now, is up into 5th place.
I'm going to have to say Smokey will need to make a pit stop soon. Just looking at his tires and his fuel, he's looking fairly low. And it's the same for Adam Wolf. Adam Wolf is blinking red, so they're both needing pit stops here fairly soon, which will promote Chili into 4th place and Most Wanted, who can go another few laps. So Most Wanted doing a pretty good medium stint, I'd have to admit right now.
Yeah, I don't think Smokey or Adam Wolf has changed to the medium tyres yet, haven't they? I think they made the pit stop and stayed on soft, so I don't know. I need to check up on that. Wise Guy now all the way down to 9th place after making another pit stop without putting in some fuel.
Jake Dennery up in the 10th place. A good comeback from him. We know he's a fast driver.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I was just about to say. And look at the background too. That duck guy. What's his name?
Iron Duck.
It's a bit Iron Duck. That's it, Duck guy. He's actually catching up to Dark Captain. I tell you what, I am. You know, as how impressed I was with Dark Captain in the feed race, I'm disappointed at how he is now. He's like second last, and he qualified. What was it? 3rd on the grid. And now he's down into 11th place now. I thought he would have done a lot better.
I believe Iron Duck wasn't 3rd on the grid for the start.
No, I'm talking about Dark Captain.
Oh, Dark Captain, yes. Dark Captain, yeah, he was very strong, but he's currently on the medium stint, so he's definitely losing time, not quite adjusted to the car, as we see Adam Wolf making his pit stop, coming out side by side with Wise Guy. A bit of a tap there. Still fighting side by side. One would expect Adam Wolf to get the advantage in this situation.
Wise Guy's got the inside for Coca-Cola, but you don't want to go side by side. There's a fast corner through there.
Tried to make the outside work, but couldn't quite get it done. So Wise Guy still holding on to that 7th place. Back at the front of the field, still DRE 1 and 2, but Nugatti 3.2 seconds behind, followed by Smokey in 4th, Chili in 5th, Most Wanted in 6th, Wise Guy 7th, fighting with Adam Wolf for 8th, Jake Dan Harry up into 9th after a few pit stops, our Captain 12th, Iron Duck and Limped Infinity Gods, decked down in the last place after making his pit stop.
Dan Harry's lost the spot. He's down to 10th now. So it's just been passed. As now you see the DRE drivers making their pit stop now.
So they're pitting on the fuel here. They're looking for 3 and 4% fuel on the pit stop. Let's see what they do. I'm expecting a new set of softs.
They'll change the softs. Yep, they should do. Because they've done there more than 10 laps.
But will they fuel to the end? Will their tires last to the end?
And again, it's just a case of when did they pit on their first stint. I can't remember if it was like lap 8 or lap 9. I'm not too sure.
So they definitely have enough fuel to make it to the end. That should be an issue. But
it's just the tires.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's currently 18 seconds.
18 seconds
to Nugatti, who is on his mediums. He's doing his medium stint now. If he makes pits to softs, and it's going to be a close finish.
It would be. But saying that though, Nugatti will have the fresher soft tyres if the DRE boys decide to stay out on those soft tyres.
But in fairness to the DRE guys, we saw how close and good they are at racing. He might have the better tires, but making his way by them is a completely different story.
Yeah, as what Muddy Walker says, catching is one thing, getting by is quite another.
Smokey will inherit second place currently. He will have to make a pit stop, I would expect,
Now,
this time by.
this lap, you have to pit in.
Chili in third, so he's going to inherit second place after Smokey makes his pit stop. We have GTRT Most Wanted still doing his medium stint. It looks like he's going to be pitting on fuel, so he can do another few laps here if he so chooses. So he's going to maintain that as we see Smokey making his pit stop from second place. So let's see what he can do. I don't know if he's done the medium tire stint yet.
No, I said that a couple of minutes ago, didn't I? I don't know if he's made. I think he pitted in, made like soft. I think this could be a medium stint for Smokey.
Definitely fueling to the end. 66%, and he's on the softs.
Not unless if he did mediums on his second stop, I'm not too sure. We did. I mean, I don't think we caught up on that actually. I don't think we did.
I don't think we have. We've been kind of paying attention to a lot of the battles at the front and in the mid pack. We haven't been paying attention to the tire strategy too much. But I'm sure if he doesn't follow the rules, guys, according to the tires, I'm sure he will get penalized, and in this case disqualified from the stewards if he doesn't follow the rules. So hopefully that isn't the case, and hopefully he has done his medium stint and we're just ignorant to that fact. But if he doesn't, that is what would be happening. Back at the front, Nugatti still leading ahead of Chili. Now Smokey has made his pit stop. Most Wanted still in third, and looking at the gap, 18.2, 18.4. So even though they're on the new set of
that's roughly the same.
Roughly, yeah, it's a little bit down. Maybe they gained a second, but now that they're in the twistier section, I expect that to drop a little bit more. Let's see what happens here. Another thing to note, throughout this entire race, both the DRE drivers have been nose to tail the entire thing.
Yeah, they have.
They have not left each other's side this entire race.
And again, they're going to go side by side on the start-finish line. Maybe let Jean-Paul go by. Maybe he can control maybe the pace between those two drivers.
Do you think it's a fuel-saving issue or strategy? They let one driver go in front, and the driver behind saves fuel, and then the driver, and they swap, and then... do you think that's what they're doing here?
I really don't know. They've been swapping and changing back and forth on the start-finish straight for pretty much the entirety of this race. I don't know if it's a strategy issue. I mean, obviously, it's not good for the, if they keep battling for position and overtaking, then to me, they're not saving fuel no matter what. It's what I've been saying for like what half an hour ago. They're not doing smart racing. They're just battling against each other. And they're holding up one another, and they're still losing time. As you can see, the gap is still 18.3 seconds. So Bugatti, even though he's on the slower compound tyres, the gap is still relatively the same because them two are battling against each other. They're not helping themselves; they're helping Bugatti to keep holding in front of the lead.
And if you look at the gap, it's only still 18.4. That's roughly two and a half
laps. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
it's been consistently the same because they keep battling against each other.
Like, this is definitely playing into Matty's hands. Whether or not Chili will get a podium out of it, I think is up in the air. But with Most Wanted, he's going to have to make a pit stop here soon at some point. Actually starting to fall into the clutches of both the DRE drivers, which could be bad for them, having a slower driver in front of them. The end of this race is going to be up in the air.
It definitely is, yes.
Let's pay attention to some of the rest of the field. We see Smokey back into 6th place now. Still in a set of softs, as you mentioned. Doing his best that he can to try and close up to both the DRE drivers in front of him. Dart Captain back up into the 7th place. Adam Wolf into 8th. Wise Guy in 9th after having to make an extra stop to refuel. Dan Harry up into 10th. Infinity Gods in 11th, making his way by Iron Duck after putting on a new set of tires. And Iron Duck, as we mentioned, now back in last place with 2 retirements. One being Beer Freak with a disconnect, and David Red with a disconnect himself.
I think there was a pass. I believe there was a pass there for 8th place. Wise Guys just passed someone.
Well, looks like the DRE drivers have caught up to Most Wanted. Let's see, will Most Wanted concede position? Will you understand they have superior tires, or will they make him work for it?
He's going to make him work for it going into Dunlop. Most Wanted was trying to protect his podium finish here, but obviously it's all going to be in doubt.
I'm trying to look here at the Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the end. He needs to make a pit stop. So Most Wanted, this is basically just a formality for Most Wanted, trying to slow down his competition as much as he can.
And you can see he's trying his absolute hardest to protect this third place. Goes then, going through Panasonic, John Paul trying to get a late apex run to get the speed off the corner, which he did though, but I think Most Wanted nearly had that covered. He's going into the pit lane this time, Most Wanted, is he? No, he stayed out.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he is, okay. Yeah, he's in.
So he did what he could to try and slow down both the DRE boys, but in the end it was fairly futile, as most of us knew. But actually looking at CSX Smokey, he gained a lot on that lap. CSX Smokey might be the dark horse here.
But again, it remains in doubt. Has he changed to medium tyres? All this could be in vain if he hasn't changed to mediums.
That is 100% truth. You got it 8.5 over Chile. He was 9.1, 9.2 over both the DRE drivers in third and fourth. Smokey in fifth. Most Wanted in sixth, actually, after making his pit stop. So a fairly free pit stop for Most Wanted coming out in front of his teammate.
Yeah, he's just coming out in front of his teammate now. So now, what's the gap there? Is that 12 seconds?
To Smokey, yes.
Yeah, that's quite a bit big of a gap now. I was going to say if they two could work together and catch up, but I think 12 seconds is a bit too long.
Looks like another battle in the back, 3 wide. I was going to say Jake
look at Jake!
Up in the battling for 8th place with Wise Guy and Adam Wolf. So a good recovery drive from Jake Danhary as Adam Wolf.
Whoa, Adam Wolf! That was a save. That was a nice save there for the exit of the hairpin.
It was. As we see Jake Danhary now going defensive against Wise Guy. He's going to try and look around the outside. An easy move to make, but it can be done. But Jake Danhary will hold on. So I have to give props to Jake Danhary here. That span on lap 1, going back at, what was it, 13 seconds, something like that, from the next closest car on track to now.
About 11 seconds behind.
So now, within 15 minutes to go, up into battling for 8th place.
And he's in championship points as well. So that's a great recovery from Jake and for SAS.
That it is. So props to Jake Danhary here. We'll see if he can try to gain a bit more time. Dark Captain not too far up the road. So let's see. We'll keep an eye on that as it continues. Still both DRE drivers battling side by side. It looks like Smokey is even closer now.
Again, this is the problem with DRE. They are allowing people to catch them up. And, you know, they are messing themselves up.
As we see, Smokey now is within that 1 second, almost half a second now. This could throw a wrench into the plans of DRE here.
I mean, no matter what, this has been still a great drive from Smokey, no matter what.
That it has. Definitely it has. As long as he has done that stint on the mediums, as long as he has done it, we will see. As we just the difference in braking here. Look how much later he's braking.
Look at that there. I don't know if there's anyone on the YouTube chat supporting CSX. I don't know if we need confirmation if Smokey has actually been on the medium tyres, or maybe he's got to make one more pit stop to go on the medium tyres. I don't know. We need confirmation on that.
Some confirmation would be nice, but I'm pretty sure the only team that started on the mediums was SAS. As Nugatti makes his pit stop, so this is key. This is going to be key. This is going to determine how the rest of the race plays out. He's going to need fuel and tires. Chile makes his stop as well.
Laps?
I think it would have just been enough. Let's see, where is he going to come out? I think he's still going to come out in front of him. Depends how much fuel he takes. He does come out in front.
But where did the DRE? Here they come. They're just coming across the start-finish line. I mean, past the pits. Chile's going to lose a few spots here. Look at Smokey!
Smokey goes wide, breaks way too late. So Chile's going to come out behind them, but Nugatti holds on to the lead, and he's got a fairly significant lead. So this played perfectly into Nugatti's hands. Well, it's a mistake from arguably the DRE guys.
Absolutely, for sure. Absolutely.
So it's interesting.
To me, they've basically thrown this win away from them.
I would have to agree with you here, but the only issue here is whether or not Smokey can break up the fun and possibly make it 3 different teams on the podium here if he can find his way by Jean-Paul.
By the looks of it, he was very close at the back of one of them DRE drivers for Daichi. But I tell you what, Smokey is It just seems to me he's just gone better and better as the race unfolds, hasn't he?
That he has. Definitely things have fallen into his lap, so to speak. I mean, even back behind him, Chili, after his spin.
Looks like he's having a look. Oh, I thought he was having a look, sorry there. He had a different line going into nets.
That's where you see some of the drivers slightly different. He's trying to take a slightly wider line here and try and get the run on the start-finish straight. So what's interesting to me is how Chili could have placed in if he hadn't made his mistake on the exit of Panasonic. He lost roughly, I want to say, 5 to 8 seconds with that mistake.
It's about, yeah, roughly about that long. And also with the damage too.
So
slower. Here they go again. Side by side.
Smokey thinks better of it this time. He's going to wait.
Side by side through Daiichi there. Oh, do you know, if I would be the manager, Diari, I mean, they'd be saying, oh, this is great racing, but you've just thrown yourselves a win away. Side by side for Coca-Cola, that's not going to work. Because you're going to lose even more time. And look at Smokey catch up now. He'll try and make a pass through 100R.
Oh,
look at them. Still side by
they
side
touched.
contact.
Here comes Smokey. He's looking for it. He's going to split the two.
The middle.
He's going to try and split them, but I don't think he's going to get it to work here. But this is exactly what Chili wants. This is what Chili wants. He sees this, and this is what he wants. We have 11 minutes left to go in this race, and it's a battle for the final spots in the podium.
Look at Smokey. He's going to try and go around the outside and Dunlop.
I was going to say maybe a bit of contact there between the two DRE drivers, but I think it was just the camera angle we had there. And Chili now 2.5 seconds compared to a few corners ago when it was over 3.2. So Chili is closing exponentially here. As Smokey look at the inside, not quite.
It was a tighter line now that he took through nets. Now it's Panasonic for the 30th time here. It's just a case of what one is he going to get. And again, now Chili down to less than 2 seconds now.
But crucially, he doesn't have the draft. He is outside of the slipstream zone, which is roughly 1.5 seconds from the car in front. The DRE again.
Matty.
This isn't what this really isn't what they should be doing.
Side by side through here. Smokey's having a look. Oh, nice save, Smokey.
And just like that, all the time Chili lost on the start-finish straight is gone. He has that time back.
Yeah, I have to say the DRE boys are putting on a show for us. I mean, it's great racing between the two, but, you know, they've shot themselves in the foot.
Definitely have to agree. So let's see what Smokey can do from the onboard camera. Well, it looks like inside of the Aston Martin Vantage GT3 car.
Nice and tidy through 300R now, braking hard into Dunlop, should be down into first gear maybe. Now he's going to stick in the second gear. All over the back of the Aston Martin, as you can see there, a little bit sideways on the exit of Dunlop, now into turn 13, looking back there, see Chili starting to close up.
1.6 seconds, if he can close another few tenths in these next few corners, he will be in the slipstream zone. As we see Matty very wide.
Jump home, braked a bit too early through nets and allowed Smokey to catch up a little bit. They get on the brakes a little bit earlier than expected. I think the Panasonic fighting the understeer.
And Chili's within the zone. Chili is within the zone.
Now, yeah, Chili's sort of in the slipstream. I thought it was 1.1 seconds during the slipstream.
I thought they increased it recently to 1.5, unless they changed it back to 1.5.
No, well, you can see Chili just there or thereabouts. It's still 1.1 anyways.
He's looking to
He's
go
going
up the
through
middle.
the middle. He's going through the middle again.
But then he couldn't quite make it work. Matty doesn't go wide on the exit. He's trying to look up his way up the inside.
Side by side through turn 2, going into Coca-Cola. And I think we'll jump over.
He does get it.
He does go by him. So now Smokey is in. And look at Chili. He's all over the back of this now. 4-car battle for second place with 7 minutes to go.
So this is going to be the last step to the podium. It's a 4-car battle for second and third. It's maybe a little bit of contact, I thought. 7.5 minutes left to go. Nugatti, your leader.
Keep an eye on Smokey. He's going to try and go for second place at Dunlop. He's going to go around the outside. Remember, we've seen this from Dan's and Alex Rogers when we did that race at in the ARC race and made it stick, but Smokey hasn't done it yet. On board now, it's up with Chile. Yes, it is. That's turn 14, I think that is now, coming into
Chile's
turn
gonna look up
15.
the
Nets go to the inside of Nets.
Oh, not quite.
Well, that was a bit of, I don't know if there was contact through that. In the third gear, down to second for Panasonic. Just don't make the same mistake what you did a few laps ago. Oh, he's there. It's pretty much like a toilet paper piece between the two.
So let's see across this long start-finish straight. We see Maddie trying to break the slipstream. The cars behind, but not quite successful. If anything, Chile's going to find a way by Jean-Paul, but Jean-Paul puts his car in the middle of the track. Looks like Smokey going to look to the outside. He can make the pass work. Jean-Paul a bit swirly in the braking zone. Chile trying to go up the inside. Not quite close enough, though.
It's not like deja vu of what he did the ARC
A little bit
race.
of touch. Did he get the
Right,
move?
he's got by.
Not quite.
Side
They're
by
still side
side.
by side.
Coca-Cola. Oh, he's got it. He's into fourth.
So currently we have 3 different teams in the top 3. We have ARC, DRE, and CSX, with ARC and DRE in 4th and 5th, and Dark Captain for GTRT in 6th. Most Wanted for GTRT in 7th, and Adam Wolf in 8th.
I think looking at the map on the top right, it looks like there's a pretty intense battle for 2nd place there too.
Let's see if we can. Yes, no, it's the teammates.
Oh, it's the teammates. Okay, my bad. Look at the gap though, 23 seconds though behind this lot.
So let's see what can happen here. Let's go on with Chili. He's all over the back of Smokey now, who's all over the back of Maddie.
Am I correct in saying that Chili's on the fresher tyres than Smokey and
Yes.
Matty?
Yes. I think. Yes, because they both have got
Oh, Smokey!
showing us why
That's
he
what I
has
like.
his name, as Chili will sneak on by to 3rd place. Let's see if we can get a replay from an onboard view of what happened here. So this is onboard for Smokey, and he just, ooh.
Wow, full opposite lock. He kept the car going, but I mean, he has lost his spot. He might lose 2 though if John Paul will pass him on the straightaway. Look at them all hugging to the right-hand side of the track, and Chili goes outside now.
He's got the speed,
Trying
he's
to
got the
get a bit of
slipstream.
side draft.
Maddie has to break.
Look,
Wait.
oh,
Oh, there's a
that
punt.
contact?
That's a
He
punt.
got cunt. He
There's a
got
punt.
He got punted by Smokey.
So let's see what happens here. Does Smokey just missed his braking zone, or let's see. So he goes to the outside. He's in the slipstream. He's going to go to the outside. Let's see what happens
Right now.
here. Smokey's going to try and follow him. Smokey, yeah, he just misjudged the braking zone.
Oh, and he punted him right off there, and he's letting. Well, to be fair, he's let Chili go by, but you know, 4 minutes to go, he's got 2.7 seconds to catch up.
Any damage to his car? No damage.
Oh, no.
Is there any to Smokey's? No.
Well, not unless it did have damage there and it's gone. But because I think the damage is on light, isn't it?
It is.
So it might have been gone when we showed the replay. But it's allowed DRE some free space though with Chili and Smokey. But I'll tell you what, knowing Chili, he will be fuming.
I'm almost happy to say there's no interviews after this race, because I don't think we get
Oh,
one
I know.
from Chili. But an interesting thing to note is, even in this section alone, his newer tires compared to what Maddie and Jean-Paul have, in that one corner, he gained half a second. This race isn't over for Chili. He's just outside of the slipstream zone on the straight, though.
And there's what, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go.
So it's not over for Chili. He's going to have 2 more chances here.
2, maybe 3 chances actually.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Looking back to the rest of the field, as we see Chili try to close as both GTRT and 6 and 7 respectively. Behind them is Adam Wolf in very low in 8th place, Wise Guy in 9th, Jake Dan Harry in 10th, Iron Duck in 11th, and Infinity Gods in 12th. Currently, the closest battle on track is for 2nd and 3rd, as actually see Adam Wolf making a pit stop.
Oh, he must have finished the medium tyres. So, also looking at his fuel, he's down to 5%. So, yeah, he must have not timed his fuel. Actually, there's some question with us. What are the fuel like? What are the drivers' fuel are on?
Let's have a quick look. See, it looks like new guys got enough to make it to the end. Oh, both the DRE drivers have enough to make it, no problem. Chili actually has less fuel. Look how close he is. He's already caught up to within a second. So if they cross the line. Yeah, he's going to have 2 more chances possibly when they cross the line. It's only a minute 37 a lap.
Did you see the oversteer? He got through that corner.
Now through nets. Within a second, both the drivers in front of him are struggling. They have heavier fuel loads. They have worse tires. Everything is in Chili's favor. He just has to find a way by both of them.
I know it sounds a bit stupid, but there's 2 minutes left. But Chili's got to show that little bit of patience. He's just got to find the right moment, the right time to make a pass.
Crosses the line to start it, so they will have, in fact, 2 more laps here. Much later, Chili brakes going into turn 1. Both the drivers in front of him going slightly wider. That's going to cost him a few tenths here. Chili's doing everything he can to try and close that gap.
So Ben, I was going to say, so Ben, YouTube chat, who do you think driver of the day is today?
That's a very good point.
That's a tricky one to call, like, because we have seen some great drives like Smokey, but again, medium tyres, if he's done it, it could be all in vain. Chili's drive or his aggressive, oh wow, I was just about to say Chili and how he's working his way up there, but he's all over the back of John Paul.
Trying to go on the outside, not the best move, but you can try it.
Oh.
John Paul has to brake late to try and hold position.
To my knowledge, I think that's the biggest gap I've ever seen from these DRE drivers there. They've been pretty much nose to tail throughout the whole of this 1 hour race, 45 seconds to go.
Chili looks to the inside, he's going to go for it. Maybe a little bit of touch. No, it's still clean. A little bit of contact, but he looks like he's going to take it. He's fighting it.
More contact. More contact. Jean-Paul saying, I'm still there, sunshine. I'm going to go by the inside of your Panasonic.
But he's going to hold the outside. Chili will hold the outside, and he has the draft now of Matty just in front of him, ever so slightly.
1.5 seconds to gap.
But now he has to pay attention to Jean Paul behind him as well. Jean Paul's going to look at the inside.
He's left the inside open. He's left it open, and that's going to allow Jean Paul to get back 3rd place. Not unless if he's going to do the crisscross, or is it just late braking, and he does. So Chili holds on to that 3rd place there. That was some good racing.
So now we have confirmation that it is now the final lap. Next time they cross the lines, we see the first finishers now in Most Wanted and Dark Captain in 6th and 7th place for GTRT.
Oh, that's quite nice. They're side by side, of course, the start finish there. That's nice. I like that. But that's a good effort there from GTRT. Good solid effort. 6th and 7th. Great for the championship for them. And for the team.
That it is. But there's still an ongoing battle for the 2nd place on the podium. Can Chili close 1.2 seconds?
John Paul struggling on those tyres. His tyres have absolutely fallen off the cliff here.
Will Chili be close enough to make it a 1-2 for ARC, or will DRE split the ARC boys up? A few more corners remain.
Gap just over a second. It's now less than a second. I think that's possibly too big of a gap, but you never know. There's only 2 turns left. Wise Guys finishes in 8th. Want to see Bugatti because he's coming across the start finish line to win this race.
That is true.
Here he comes, and he's flashing the lights, weaving left and right. So ARC wins the first race, but who's going to get second? It looks like Matty to me. Chili's too far back, isn't he?
Yep, the gap is just too big. The draft days are quite close enough. Matty will take second for DRE, followed by Chili. Jean Paul in 4th for DRE, with CSX Smokey being the final driver to take the line. To finish across the line in 5th place, and there's your finishing order. So it's GTRT Most Wanted and Dark Captain in 6th and 7th place.
Oh, wow.
I was going to try and get the load up there.
We didn't get enough time to see that then.
But congratulations to Nugatti with his Team Dynasty suit still on though, but congratulations to him as we're going to get the race results here. So there's your results. ARC Nugatti in 1st, taking home the first win of TvT Series for ARC, with Matty Whiten in 2nd for DRE, Chili in 3rd, Jean Paul in 4th for DRE, CSX Smoky in 5th for Cosmics, GTRT in 6th and 7th, the Most Wanted and Dark Captain, Wise Guy in 8th for Cosmics, IGTSH Adam Wolf, the lone IGTSH driver on track, in 9th place, Jake Dan Harry and Iron Duck in 10th and 11th for SAS, and Infinity Gods in 12th for GTSB, with 2 non-finishers being Beer Freak and David Red.
And Chile had the fastest lap in that race on lap 31, so that was quite late in the race.
That it is. But ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our racing for today. We are so happy you could join us for this team versus team series. The racing was close to the end, and we hope you come back for the next one.
I tell you what, seeing that battle for second place, I was sitting on the edge of my seat, which I hope you were as well, but I'm sitting on a wooden seat and my bum is very sore right now. So I'm sitting back now.
And looking at the current chat, it seems to be a bit of a toss-up between Chile and Nugatti for driver of the day. We're going to need to calculate some votes here to see who actually gets it. It actually seems to be pretty close.
Oh, well, someone else could do it. I can't be bothered checking it. That was a very good race. I'm just glad that, this is back. And I think this could be a weekly thing. But obviously, this team versus team is a monthly championship, isn't it? So there's 4 rounds of this. The next one, I believe, is at Barcelona. I want to say that.
Yeah, I want to say Spain.
Yeah, driving in the Ferrari.
That one's going to be pretty interesting.
That will be interesting because how tail happy that Ferrari is.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. And as we just mentioned, this is a monthly long series, but that doesn't mean we have one race a month. We have a bunch of other series we like to race as well. Like we have a MX-5 Miata Championship coming up. We're going to be starting.
That's starting next week.
Yeah, we're going to something like that. We're going to be starting season 4 soon. So if you want to race with some of the guys you see here on stream, feel free to join the ARC. There's a link to the Discord and below. And if for whatever reason that isn't active, get in touch with any of the guys you see in chat, like Maddie or Ruben or whatever in the chat there. They'll give you a link to the Discord should you want to join. And if you feel like you want to race against these guys. But we're happy you guys loved the racing. It's great to broadcast to all of you. And be sure to check us out on Twitter and all our stuff at arc_PS4. Hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more racing and you liked what you watched. But I think that's going to conclude our broadcast for today. You have anything else you want to add there, Savoy?
Other than, great effort from all the drivers, well done to all of them that took part. DRE, what could have been a 1-2 finish, but, they sort of let the win slip away from them. But, it's only the first round. There's another 3 to go. So I cannot wait for this the next one to happen next month. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking here, just to clarify, the next one is at Nürburgring in the Hyundai, not the Ferrari in Spain. That's the 3rd race. So we'll see you in 2 months for the 3rd race at Barcelona.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our broadcast. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, keep racing.